Counter-Strike 2 is making its way to us and Reggie ain't wasting any time. He's dusted off his trusty weapons and jumped right back into Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It got me pondering though, what is the secret to its timeless charm and how in the bloody hell is its economy worth a jaw-dropping $50 million and then some? Well, grab yourself a cuppa and gather around my pedigree chums because Reggie and the boys will chat and marvel about the world that is Counter-Strike and also discuss its murkier side. It seems like every PC gamer can tell you their age by explaining what version of Counter-Strike they started playing. Reggie joined the Counter-Strike gang back in 2001 with Counter-Strike 1.3. This certainly wasn't its first outing, of course, as its roots began 2 years earlier with a spin-off mod from Half-Life. By 2003 we had version 1.6, a more polished shooter which brought with it a swarm of new players. But then we had the Margot Robbie of Counter-Strikes with a big visual upgrade coming in the form of Counter-Strike Source, strutting its stuff with the tech of Half-Life 2. In 2018 we got the Counter-Strike we know and love today, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. But no matter what version you joined at, one thing always remained true, and that was how it played. Where Counter-Strike stands out though is its sheer simplicity. It has never deviated from that path. Splitting players into either a group of James Bonds or Osama bin Ladens, here you have a playground for last man standing, usually with different play types thrown in, such as saving a hostage, planting a bomb, or a good old deathmatch dust-up. And the maps are gloriously done with only minor changes taking place through their history. Reggie's favourite map is a toss-up between Office and Assault. The maps are so well thought out that they guide teams into 2 or 3 choke points Riley Reid style, each with similar tactical advantages that rarely does it seem one team has a significant advantage over the other. And whilst easy to learn, Counter-Strike is difficult to master. You'll get chop sueyed countless times if new to the game, but stick with it because in time you'll carve out for yourself your own playstyle. Reggie, for example, loves this little corner of the Assault map as he knows exactly where players will enter and exit, but further still he also knows the points where he can be shot from, Lee Harvey Oswald style. That doesn't mean it's easy, of course, because other players will know the same, and so intense firefights will ensue as split seconds make all the difference. And realise that these little areas of a map you love and learn exist in multiple places until eventually you'll know how to approach the whole thing like Rayman, with encyclopedic knowledge of how to take on various locations, whether it be with Billy No Mates or with other teammates. The thrill then never gets old, and like fine wine, Counter-Strike maps continue to mature and refine with each iteration, never losing their soul and your knowledge coming with you with each version. You see lads, one of the reasons we all love Counter-Strike is indeed the gunplay itself. The weapons feel balanced between teams, and more so, each piece has its own style of playing. Shotguns are devastating in close quarters and snipers are of course lethal in open spaces, but you gotta earn those weapons each round, buying them before a match begins based on the success you had on the previous round. This means sometimes it plays well to go in with your default pistol and save the Wonga and look to thieve someone else's gun when they kick the bucket. It's this level of tactical nuance that gives Counter-Strike such an edge over its rivals, because you're always thinking about how best to approach each match, trying to work out what the team did prior and how you can improve. Now, since the early days of Counter-Strike, I've consistently shouted "F you, as players shoot me from almost impossible angles. I'm convinced there are wall hacks taking place, or that no way in God's earth did they manage to get a headshot on me from the distance they were at. It feels unfair at times, but alas, when looking at the replay of your demise, you have to just applaud the other player, because yes, they did indeed get you fairly. And that's a key component, because hitboxes in Counter-Strike have always felt fair, always ahead of anything else in the market. And whilst death is thick and fast in your early playtime, it's also a great learning tool. So it stands to reason then as to why millions of us play Counter-Strike every day and why its esports scene is such a big deal. But is there a darker side to this success? Well, let's walk that fine line and delve into the skin market. We simply can't ignore its economy, especially when it comes to loot boxes. In the game you can earn crates that might spit out a random cosmetic skin for your guns, and these skins come in all shapes and patterns, with some looking like dog shite and others pristine and fancy as a king's crown. To open a crate you got to fork over a nice $2.50 to Valve, and maybe, just maybe, Lady Luck will smile upon you and drop a rare skin in your lap. But if you ain't keen on earning crates in the game, which let's be honest ain't easy to come by, you can simply hit up the marketplace and buy them from other folks. Some crates go for as cheap as 50 cents, but some blokes are willing to splash a mind-boggling $100 for a crate. Yeah, you heard that right, boys and girls, that is more than some real life hits. Now why the bloody hell would anyone pay such a steep price for a virtual crate, you ask? Because if you're a lucky bastard and get a rare drop, you can sell it to some other fool online for tens of thousands of dollars. I'm talking serious money here, lads. Some folks make a bloody fortune from this stuff. One bloke got a knife worth 200 grand only a few weeks back playing for 30 or so hours, and another nutter turned down an offer of 1.5 million for a knife so rare that no one else has ever seen it. To put simply, it's gambling. This side of CSGO, Reggie is torn on, especially when you see how young some of them players are. I've seen Reddit posts of people asking if investing in skins is a smart way to save for the future because of how prices have risen. Instead of telling them to put their money in something sensible like the S&P 500 and let it grow over time, people were encouraging others to bet on virtual knives and gloves and store those away while selling the junk items. I was left stunned at the stupidity of people on display here. The fact is, government regulations will probably at some point catch up on this, and Steam themselves might have to change their tune once the crackdown begins. This crazy skin market ain't going anywhere for now, of course, but you gotta wonder how long it can last with all the addictive behaviour rolling into real world money. No doubt it's a dream way to launder money when useless skins worth 50 cents are sold for $3,000, and I'm part of the bloody problem, so let's not be a hypocritical twat about it. I got some insanely lucky drops from crates I opened, where that knife you see on screen right now is worth $1,000, and them gloves are probably worth 600 smackers, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I got other skins that add up to give Reggie almost $2,500 worth. While them skins look nice, it's a real addiction problem that many folks will struggle to break free from. So Reggie's sitting here 50-50 on this whole side of Counter-Strike because it's a great concept. I love how it doesn't interfere with the gameplay. There's no pay to win here, but no doubt it's what drives its huge success because everyone's jonesing in for that next big money drop. This skin game, my pedigree chums, it's the Wild West, and you do wonder how long it can keep up. When it comes to the looks, the Counter-Strike series has always played it safe, and rightly so, because it needs to cater to all sorts of machines to welcome as many players as possible. But don't you dare be thinking it looks shoddy either, lads. CSGO, even after 5 bloody years, is still holding its own, but a fresh coat of paint wouldn't hurt. And guess what? That's exactly what's coming our way. Volumetric smoke from grenades, fancier particle effects, and everything will be in much higher fidelity. And the talk right now is how those skins will look in the new engine. Now you might be wondering why them crates and wood boxes ain't destructible. Well, it's because they're crucial to the maps, innit? You see, the crates are the places you might hide behind, or they give you some much needed cover at a choke point. The shadows and lighting in Counter-Strike have always been a bit of a letdown for me, to be honest. They feel a bit baked in, if you know what I mean, but again, it's a conscious decision to keep things running smooth for them lesser machines. So when judging its visuals, you've got to consider what Counter-Strike has always been about, and that is accessibility. But let me just say, Counter-Strike 2 can't come soon enough. As for sound, here it plays an integral part of the game. Them footsteps, they're purposely loud, lads, so that you can hear who's sneaking around corners. Holding the shift key slows you down Mitch McConnell style, but also gives you the gift of silence to think about your next move. And them snipers, oh my God, they sound bloody fantastic. Boom, echo, bang. It's like music to my ears, reminding me of the shootout of '89 down Borough Market. And them silencers, they got that thud sound, making it damn difficult to figure out where they're firing from, exactly as it should. But you know what? Plug in some solid headphones and you'll be in for a delightful treat where the 3D effect comes into its own. Sound here becomes your best mate, providing all the clues you need to outsmart your enemies. And there you have it, you lot. A little analysis to understand why Counter-Strike continues to be a beloved franchise. It's a recipe that's hard to beat. Perfectly crafted maps, masterful gameplay that's accessible to anyone, and a sound and graphic engine that amplifies its addictiveness. But you can't talk about its addictiveness without mentioning that skin market. A bit of a murky world, if you ask me. It's like a slot machine offering the chance for thousands in return, or if you ain't careful, it's going to lead to thousands in losses if addiction takes hold. It's a dangerous game, so do play it safely. Now with CS2 just around the corner, this franchise is about to take another leap into glory. You could bet your boots that countless YouTubers will dissect and mull over every bit of it, only for us to go through the whole excitement again in 5 years. And I can't bloody wait for it. Until the next time, my lovelies, Reggie out.